Welcome to another SSE show, and thanks to all our fans. We've now grown to over 700,000 fans on the SSE show. Tonight, a very interesting, well, not one, but two guests. USA Rugby, Nigel Melville, the CEO of USA Rugby, and a USA national team member, Phil Thiel. Thank you guys for joining me. We had a little bit of technical problems, so I apologize, everybody, but hey, that's live, right? That's the way it rolls. Yeah, let's start first with you, Nigel. Tell me, first off, why do you think USA Rugby has grown so much in the last couple of years?
Well, I think it's been growing for the last 5 or 6 years when we started putting the ball in the hands of kids who were 6 and 7 and 8 years old. And once they got the ball in their hands, they started to play more. And obviously, over the last 5, 6 years, we're seeing growth in high schools, we're seeing growth in colleges, and the game's growing at all levels, so it's fantastic.
Philip, what about you? Why did you, I mean, not many people over here really think of, hey, I'm going to start playing rugby, and here you are playing rugby. How did you get involved in it, and why did you want to become a player?
To be honest, I hated track and field in high school, and they would never let me run the 100. They made me do the shot put. And so one spring when I was 18, my senior year of high school, I picked up a ball. I had a friend who was my best friend who was a player. And we had a nice youth team up in Traverse City, Michigan, kind of in the middle of nowhere when it comes to rugby. And I just picked up a ball, and I loved it right from there. I took a couple years off to play college football, but then got back into the game after that.
It's kind of exciting now for you guys because it's growing so much that y'all are having one of the biggest events of all time. For the people out there right now, Nigel, tell us what y'all have coming up in Chicago with the sellout.
Well, we've got the World Champions coming, so the New Zealand All Blacks are the World Champions. And they're on their way to England, but on their way they're stopping to players in Chicago at Soldier Field. So the national team, the USA Eagles, which is Phil's team, will be playing them at Soldier Field a week on Saturday, the 1st of November. Should be a sellout crowd, live on NBC, sponsored by AIG, so it'll be an absolutely tremendous event.
Tell me about that, though. For people that don't understand, this team coming here is like really the New York Yankees, the Dallas Cowboys, Manchester United. How exciting is it for them to come here to play you guys?
Oh, it's tremendous. I mean, to get them to come over here to play us is absolutely fantastic. They haven't been here for over 20 years. They've only probably been here 3 or 4 times in the whole time that rugby's been played. So we're honoured for them to come and help us grow the game here, because they're enabling us to show the game to so many more people and to so many sports fans across the country who've never probably seen rugby, never realised what great athletes we have, what a fast game it is, how skillful everybody is, and I think it's just a tremendous showcase opportunity for the game of rugby.
How about you, Philip? Are you excited to play them, or nervous, excited? Tell me kind of your emotions, how fun it is for you.
I mean, it's kind of a mixture of everything. You know what you're going to get when the All Blacks coming, and they're an absolutely fantastic organization. They're a fantastic program. They've got, I mean, there's a couple of guys on that team that were my idols. Kevin Mialamu's one who, as I was getting into the game, he's a few years older than me. He was my absolute idol at the hooker position. So, I mean, the guys, we've been talking about it. There's a ton of buzz. There's a ton of energy. We know what they're going to bring. They're a fantastic team, and we're really excited to have the opportunity to play them and to grow the game in the States. We're stoked about it.
Growing the game here is very important, and y'all are one of the fastest growing sports. I mean, compared to some of the other ones that have been around for a long time. Nigel, how exciting is that, A? And B, how do you continue to grow it, and where do you think the opportunity is?
Well, the opportunity is, as we keep growing, is to move towards a professional game. And we're creating more players at high school and college, but when they come out of college, what are they going to do? We want them to play in a good professional game. We want to go to play in good stadiums in front of big crowds and grow the game, because then people like Phil don't have to have a job as well as playing for the Eagles. They're not full-time pros. They need to see this game next week. We're going to have a mixture of guys earning a lot of money playing as professionals, and some of our guys, they've got jobs during the week. He's frozen again.
He is frozen again.
He's got scary eyes.
Yeah, he does. Those blue eyes. So I'll stop tweeting and I'll start asking some questions as well. So I've got an 8th grader, 13, almost 14 here. Of course, he's downstairs doing homework right now. He's just getting into sports. So it was good for me, Nigel, Philip, to hear that you got into the sport late. One, what did you play when you were in college? You mentioned football, and how long did you do that? And then B, what recommendations would you give to me to help my 14-year-old get more interested in the game?
Oh, I mean, I played 1 year of college football. I went to a small school, Saginaw Valley State in Michigan, and I was transferring to go to Indiana University actually, and I ran into some snags there, so I picked up rugby with the local club team and just enjoyed it. And then I ended up being able to go to England actually. But I mean, getting into it at almost 18, almost 19 years, getting close to graduating high school. I mean, the biggest challenge that you're going to run into is just having the ball in your hand. A team like New Zealand, those guys are going to have the ball in their hand when they're 4, 5, 6 years old. They're going to be getting into flag rugby at 7 and 8. They're going to be into the tackle stuff at 10, 11, 12 years old. Whereas we're playing other sports. So I would say for your son, if you want to get him involved in rugby, is just get a ball in his hand, find a local club team, a youth team, an organization, something like that, and just get him involved because he'll love the game. He'll absolutely love the game. It's a safe, fast action sport. I mean, there are collisions, there's tackles, there's all the stuff that we love as Americans, but it is in a very controlled setting with the contact. You do see less concussions when it comes to rugby, and they take it very seriously. So it's an awesome game to play. The biggest thing is the skill level and the decision making on the field is very, very fast at the highest levels, and that's the thing that takes a long time to learn. That's the thing that a 13-year-old would need to pick up at a young age.
Yeah.
Okay. This is great. So I'm back, and he's always my backup wingman. So here we go. You know what I like about what you said, and the NFL's had issues with concussions, and they've actually talked about getting rid of or softening the helmets, going back maybe to leather helmets. You brought up a great point. How is it that it almost seems to be safer without playing with helmets? Why do you emphasis on that? Because the NFL's had issues with concussions.
Well, as a player, I mean, when you play rugby, you're taught to tackle without your head. You're taught to tackle with your shoulders. And your shoulders, I mean, you may separate an AC joint, you may break a collarbone, things like that, but that heals. You're told to tackle with things that don't have a brain in them, essentially. Your shoulders don't have a brain. Your arms and chest don't have a brain. So you make solid, safe tackles as opposed to, what I did when I played football, which was fly in and try to hit everything with the crown of my helmet and, hit it as hard as I could. And unfortunately, there's a brain in there. And we need to take care of it. I think that the fastest way to solve the concussion problem in football, we always talked about new helmets over the years, and all these new helmets come out, but the fastest way to get rid of concussions is to not hit with your head. So that's to not have helmets on, essentially.
And you think people, if they don't have helmets, obviously you guys do that, you think subconsciously, oh, I've got a helmet, I can lead with that, but in rugby you don't have that, so you're tackling better. Is that a fair assessment?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's been some videos where I think it was Pete Carroll for the Seahawks. You see him. It was a big thing that went around the rugby community. He was showing rugby tackling, and he actually said the words rugby, and they bring in some specialists and things like that. And there's a lot of there's a lot of leeway when you're using your shoulders and your arms and things like that, where you're getting your head out of the way, as opposed to, like I said, how I tackled when I played football was just to try to hit it with my head and destroy it, basically. So.
Right. Nigel, what do you think about all that?
Well, I think it's really scary the way that you teach foot. I'm from England, so I came over with a 7-year-old boy, and he went to school, and they put him into a football team, and they put this big helmet on top of this little neck, and then started to tell him how to tackle badly. And they were putting the head on the body, don't use your arms, all the stuff that we would say were wrong. And so I think it's very important that you understand that rugby tackling is a very controlled environment. In fact, we use our arms, we put our head to the side of the body, not on the body. We pull people down by the legs, and I would say it's relatively safe. And there's trouble in all sports. It's not just about football. It's not just about rugby. It's about soccer. It's about motorsports. It's about gymnastics. Concussions all around us. It's just putting ourselves into a safer environment.
That makes a lot of sense. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good. Because my monitor froze, of course, but I can see you. Okay, so let's go back to the big game again, because I want to bring up one point. You brought up something. You're saying NBC. We're talking major network is broadcasting y'all's game. That has to give you confidence that, hey, this is real now. This is now getting into mainstream.
That's important to us, obviously, to get on mainstream platforms. We don't want rugby players just to see the game. We want sports fans in America to see the game. and you can't do that unless you get onto a mainstream platform. So we're really fortunate NBC have been so supportive of rugby, in sevens and in 15s. They're also our Rugby World Cup broadcast partner in 2015, the Rugby World Cup, which is the third largest sporting event in the world now. Will be broadcast, into the US. So it's fantastic to have a supporter like NBC who have really seen the benefits of the game, the excitement of the game, the future of the game, the Olympics, and all the other things that are going on. So, it's just great to have such great partners.
Man, that is exciting for you guys. And Philip, for you as a player, that's a CEO talk, which is perfect the way he said it. But for you as a player, how is it different for you? He's, obviously excited to grow the sport, but you as a player, you've got to be excited to be on network television.
Oh yeah, I mean, with NBC, we're amazingly excited about it. Being on national television is, it's every kid's dream. It's why you play the big sports. I've been lucky enough to play in some good leagues overseas. I've been lucky to play in front of large crowds and things like that. With the last World Cup, it was in New Zealand, but this is on American soil, a massive television audience, a massive audience of the game. I mean, it gives you goosebumps, and we're 2 weeks out from the game. On the night, the atmosphere is going to be incredible. It's going to be electric, and we're incredibly excited about it.
You guys have gave us a lot of great information tonight. I apologize for technical problems. Really patient. We'll do it again because y'all were so kind to bear with us on this. To wrap it up, so we can end this show, I want to ask you guys both a question. Where do you see the future? Where do you want to see the future? And how exciting is it to be part of this growing sport? Nigel, go first.
I think it's very exciting. I think it's exciting for the kids, but I think if I'm looking into the future, I'm wanting to see a professional game here in the US, because I just want the kids who are coming through our programs from 6 to high school to college to have somewhere to go to really maximize the potential and play rugby in a global professional game. And I think that in turn will make our Eagles stronger, and it'll make the sport grow even more in the US. So tremendous times for the game, very, very exciting, and now we're an Olympic sport as well. I'm sure that's going to add to the mix.
That's exciting. Philip, how about you?
I just see, the growth that I've seen since I started playing a little over 10 years ago has been incredible already. People like Nigel and the staff at USA Rugby, everybody's been putting in massive effort, people in local communities, at the grassroots level, at the age grade level, and I just see us continuously improving. I'm excited in the next 10 years to see where rugby goes, to work towards that fully professional league in the U.S. For now, we have, I think, the most players we've ever had playing overseas in professional leagues, and those guys are coming back and bringing their expertise. You've got great coaches coming from programs, working in turning small programs in colleges that didn't really know anything about rugby before into solid rugby organizations, and that's where it's going to come, is that growth. I'm excited to see it over the next 10 years when I'm an old guy watching the game and coaching and helping out. I'm excited to see where we're going in that respect.
Well, I tell you what, you guys earned my respect tonight, A, for your patience, for being so kind to come on the show, and we will back you guys and wish you the best in your future, and more importantly, we will do this again and make it up to you guys.
Fantastic, and thank you very much. It's awesome to spend time with you.
Thanks very much, Mike. Cheers.